up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with another Game Theory FNAF reaction. That is right. And you guys let me know last week that I actually missed a theory because I saw that he had a 2-hour stream and I didn't know that there was a hidden video in there. So we are going to be peeping it out, and this is called FNAF 4 Games, 1 Story. And this is actually the end of the theory through the first 4 games. Because it kind of seems like there's FNAF, the first 4 games, and then FNAF after. So I'm curious to see, does he change the it's all a dream theory, which I loved for the first 4 games before the Afton era. So we'll see what he does, but before we jump into it, make sure you show Matt Pat some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoy my reaction, smash that subscribe button because it greatly helps. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo woo. Cause it's a game theory.
Nope, you're not dreaming. It is possible to put together the pieces of FNAF. It's just a nightmare trying to do it.
Dude, I love this little intro that he had for this. I wish he still would have like a special intro for FNAF. Or use this. Uh-oh. Are you ready, chat?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where it's another day, another FNAF timeline. Don't worry, though. I promise this will be my final stab at putting it all together, at least until FNAF World. Maybe that means I can finally do Undertale. You guys want that?
You don't know. Dude, everything's gonna change when Sister Location drops and throws a wrench in there. And then the book throws a massive wrench too. Because then we find out about Afton.
That one, right? Seems like a popular choice. Let me know in the comments. Now let me start this episode by making it very clear. I think the dream theory is indeed what Scott intended. Where the minigames featuring the crying child from FNAF 4 are real, i.e. there's really a birthday party and he really gets bitten, and the events of each night at Freddy's across the 4 games where a security guard—
Again, chat, for the first 4 games, God, that's a lot of F words. For the first 4 games, for the first 5 Nights at Freddy's games. Anyways, I think it is a dream. It perfectly fits. I think maybe Scott initially intended on it just to be FNAF 1 through 4, and then that was it, and that's the lore. So even now with the timelines, I know some of the times aren't matching up, but I believe it's almost 2 separate entities, FNAF 1 through 4, and then after. I think it's different.
Is attacked by robots is taking place in his mind. Like I said last episode, the clock sounds coupled with Scott's own statements both during the live stream and on Steam sold me 100% on that theory. That said, I agree. Like a lot of you, aren't 100% satisfied with that explanation. Sure, the core gameplay sequences with you as the security guard might all be in the mind of a child, but the underlying story here about a serial killer stalking the halls of the restaurant are just too detailed and too well fleshed out to just be a wash. Here, to me, are the big issues that the dream theory doesn't address. 1. The crying child is afraid of those yellow suits for a reason. Remember what you saw. You know what will happen if he catches you. These are lines that his imaginary friend Fredbear repeats over and over. It feels a lot more sinister and real than just—
Oh, Matt Pat. It's very sinister, bro. Dude, this, like, the storyline of this, the lore of this is so dark. It's creepy. We finally started watching some FNAF VHS tapes. If you haven't seen my reaction to it, I reacted to Baddington's, 10 of them. Oh my, dude, FNAF is super dark and twisted.
That's all. This kid saw something scary and misunderstood it in the shadows. 2. The puppet doesn't have a good explanation under Dream Theory. Clearly, the puppet is one of the most important forces in this game, but he doesn't fit into the dream model cleanly. A lot of other theorists have said it's symbolic of the boy's actions in his own dreams, but later this episode, I'll prove that that's not true. If anything, the boy would be the security guard in these dreams, helpless and scared, not the puppet. I'm not buying it. 3. Scott confirmed the bulk of my FNAF—
It's the other Afton. It's the older brother. It's the boy. It's Michael.
Fnaf 2 theory. This would be a strange move for him to go out of his way to say that a chain of events was correct if it was truly meaningless. And finally, number 4, the Atari minigames. Under Dream Theory, what? They're just dreams within dreams? What is this, Five Nights at Inception?
That is true. I didn't think about that, though, with the Dream Theory. It makes the minigames non-existent. Like, that lore means nothing if it's just a dream. I didn't even think about it.
And then there are plenty of little issues too, like a young child's dreams being so detailed as to include concepts that even most adults don't know, like sister locations and accurate minimum wage rates. So I combed over everything from the past year of theorizing to come up with the most well-supported, interesting, but also logical timeline of events telling the story of the rise and fall of Freddy Fazbear's. Admittedly, there are still gaps and logical leaps, which I'll be sure.
How old is this? I think this is like 7 years old, chat. 7 years old. Dude, I love this. This is never gonna end, ever. He's doing the ultimate timeline right now, and there's still gaps. The way that he finished part 3 is by saying stuff still doesn't add up. I can't make times match with some of this stuff. I love the theory. My theory's amazing, but some of my times don't add up. And we're 7 years later, bro, and we're still confused. And I'm late to the party, and I'm just as confused too.
Bro. To call out. But right or wrong, this is the flow of events I believe creates the most satisfying narrative to the series. So this one is dedicated to all you guys on Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, and in the comments who have been sending me theories for months. Think of this as my end of the year present for you. Right or wrong, this box is getting opened. The story begins at Fredbear Family Diner, the first location as revealed to us by Phone Guy in Fnaf 2, and confirmed indirectly by Scott when he approved my Fnaf 2 theory. I don't honestly think that there's much to debate here anymore. A child is murdered outside the establishment by a mysterious figure, the Purple Guy, who escapes unnoticed. The victim's restless soul goes on to inhabit a puppet, which would then haunt the halls of the pizzeria. Boom! Done. No need to dwell on that. In the wake of the tragedy, the owners sell the name of Fredbear and the character's likeness to a larger company that will soon be known as Fazbear Entertainment. From there, the timeline picks up in 1983, as seen on the Crying Child's television set. Since buying the franchise, Fazbear Entertainment has distanced themselves from the last restaurant by redesigning Fredbear into a golden singer with a yellow rabbit partner. They've also rolled out a popular TV series, Fredbear and Friends, as well as a line of merchandise that includes both plastic toys and plushies of all the characters.
Keep going, Matt Pat. You do you, boo. You do you, boo.
But perhaps the biggest addition has been a sister location of restaurants where Fredbear's friends are headlining. Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie, known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And that is our first major revelation, that FNAF 4's Fredbear-themed restaurant and FNAF 1's Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location are open at the same time. We know this thanks to the Phone Guy tapes uncovered in FNAF 3. For those of you who haven't listened to those enough times to have them memorized, I am so jealous of your life. But secondly, let me refresh your memories.
Thank you, because yeah, this I don't know.
The tapes welcome you to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and then mention a tragic incident at a sister location which results in the yellow spring-lock suits being decommissioned. So let me translate that for you. For all of us unfamiliar with corporate buzzwords, a sister location is defined as another company owned by the same parent company. For example, KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell.
All sister locations.
Are all sister companies with a
my bad. And sometimes there is one building that has all three in there. Facts.
Parent company that holds them all together being Yum Brands. Yum is right. Ugh, I could totally go for some Pizza Hut right now.
I could totally go for some Taco
buffet,
Bell right now.
You are the best. Hashtag not sponsored. In this case, FNAF 4's Fredbear's is the sister location to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, with the parent company being Fazbear Entertainment. Corporate structure for the win. What all of this means is that the unfortunate incident that Phone Guy mentions in the FNAF 3 tapes is the crying child getting chomped, which in turn is the inciting event that causes the two recently delivered yellow suits to the FNAF 1 location, the Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie suit Phone Guy talks about, to be stored away in the location's safe room. At this point in the timeline, still open and hidden in the back of the restaurant.
My question though too, I mean, bro, these suits, like, I mean, real life, right? Companies would not keep that stuff. They would get rid of it. They would destroy it, especially if it hurt somebody, hurt a kid. Like, 'cause there's no reason. It's decommissioned. It's never going to be used again. So they would just destroy it.
Enter Purple Guy. Shortly after the yellow suits get decommissioned, more FNAF 3 tapes reveal Phone Guy warning employees to not bring customers back to the safe room and to stop moving the yellow Bonnie suit. In the following days, the safe room gets sealed with the request to, quote, not tell family, friends, or insurance representatives. Now, Phone Guy may be unaware of what's happening here, but we're not. This is June 26th, 1983, the date of the missing children incident we learn about through the newspaper clip.
Now the bricks are laid. So chat. So there's, again, I'm still new to this. So since the bricks are laid, but nothing's burned yet. But does that mean technically is William back there? Because aren't the bricks laid after William gets put in the spring trap suit and then dies? Don't they brick it off so he's trapped there forever? So at this point, has William Afton already died and he's trapped in that safe room, right?
Things pasted on the walls of FNAF 1, where, in the middle of the day, an employee dresses in a costume, lures 5 children to the back, kills them, and then stuffs their bodies into the suits. Although he's caught and taken into custody, the fact that all of this takes place in the restaurant's safe room, which, remember, are invisible.
Who's caught and arrested? What?
To animatronics and security cameras means that the actual murders aren't on camera. As such, the bodies of the children remain missing, hidden in the suits, and the killer can't be charged due to a lack of evidence. This is all represented in the game by the Foxy.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, who got arrested? What? And never mind that the police walk past the suits and the bodies are in the suits.
Go minigame, where the layout of the game parallels the
Those
layout
cops
of the
need to be
FNAF
fired.
location.
Fire
Pirate
'em!
Cove, to the right, a dining area. And as we see in the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame from FNAF 2, the puppet saves the kids by giving them life inside the animatronic suits. So now at this point in the timeline, we have Freddy, Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, Golden Freddy, and the puppet alive and well. Well, not alive, dead, and then reborn.
I see what you did
also,
there.
The
I see what you
company
did there,
closes
Matt
up the safe rooms to avoid all liability for the murders, and eventually the pizzeria is closed and the old animatronics retired due to the health conditions of the restaurant. As we see once again in the newspaper clippings from FNAF 1, the smell of rotting bodies inside the machines starts stinking up the place.
Yeah, that odor will get you. It's a rotting corpse, which is going to happen to Michael too, because Michael's not alive. He's alive, but he's dead alive. Undead. Dead. Unalive. But alive.
So now let's pause there for a second. Up to now, everything has been pretty well substantiated with evidence, but before we get too much further, let's take a minute back with the crying child. Remember, one of my biggest concerns about Dream Theory is that the crying child is scared of the yellow suits, but there's no real good explanation as to why. So what if the reason the crying child is scared of the yellow suits is because he saw the missing children's incident? What if he saw the employee dressed up as a yellow animatronic luring the children away? Yes, this would mean that the missing children's incident would happen before the yellow suits are retired and before the kid gets bitten, but
Chat, what? I thought the 5 kids died after. God, now I'm getting. I thought the 5 kids died after the bite of 83. Or am I way off?
But it's a theory that works for a lot of different reasons. First, he's always at the pizzerias, especially towards the end of the day, so he'd definitely be in a position to see something like this. Second, it explains his irrational fear of the yellow suits because he saw people get taken to the back and never return. Third, the lines of "remember what you saw" and "you know what will happen if he catches
we know
you,"
his
that
dad
psychic friend
is the reason why he's scared of him.
Makes a whole lot more sense now. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, look at this line. "These are my friends." If this were indeed true, this line takes on a whole new meaning. I always thought that line was weird. Like, what, they're your imaginary friends? I suppose, but then why would his collection of plushies just be with him when he dies? Why is that such an important detail that Scott chose to include?
Wow,
It wouldn't be, really. But what if they were literally his friends? That he knew the kids who went missing and got stuffed, and the plushies being there in the final scene represented not his plushies, but the spirit of his friends, the ones possessing the suits, being there with him.
So chat, so let me... In this, I haven't seen this in any other theory video or the new timeline. He didn't see them die. So what does that? Is there any lore behind that in the game of him saying, "These are my friends"? Because he doesn't know that the kids are dead, right? He didn't see that, right?
Him as he dies. Now that gives you a reason to be scared of this restaurant. But we can take it one step further. There's one more issue with the crying child we've yet to cover. What happens to him when he dies at the end of FNAF 4? My original theory put him in the puppet because of design details, but in retrospect, that was wrong. Reddit user 3IEYIJ.
What up, 3IEYIJ?
3Reddit user 3iege did an analysis of the color of the text during the ending sequence. All of the final lines aren't in the yellow used for psychic friend Fredbear, but rather a mysterious new off-white color for the final lines of "You're broken, I will put you back together." It's a subtle detail, but it's very clear that this is an intentional difference that Scott included in the game. So
His
who's
dad's
speaking?
putting him
Well,
back together.
who else but the one figure we know gives life to children dying in events around the Fazbear Entertainment franchise.
Right? It's his dad that says it, right? Yeah, because he doesn't want his kid to die. I'm pretty sure.
It's the puppet, promising to right the wrongs of the pizzeria by bringing peace to the crying child's spirit. How does he plan to do this? Well, look at what he says. We are still your friends. It's not I am still your friend. The puppet using the plural here means that there would be multiple spirits present in this final scene that consider themselves friends to the crying child, but we also see this. I am still here. The others are gone now, stuffed, leaving only the one with the ability to transcend the animatronic suits, the puppet. This makes a lot of sense if we again assume the crying child knew the kids who got stuffed during the missing children's incident. And look at the last line the puppet says, I will put you back together. We've all been assuming...
But didn't he just say that the lettering is different? And this is the first time we've seen this color of lettering.
His you is referring to the crying child, but consider for a minute that the puppet is instead playing the pronoun game, to steal a phrase from CinemaSins, and is instead referring to the plural you. You 5 are broken, and I will put you 5 back together. He's planning on reuniting the spirits of these 5 friends. What makes me so sure? Well, we see it
No. Nope. I don't think so.
happen. It's the conclusion to the whole story. In FNAF 3's The Happiest Day minigame, we see the crying child's birthday one more time. 5 kids in masks representing the same 5 animatronics, with the birthday boy representing Golden Fredbear. You can even compare the locations. Both are long corridors with 3 tables and a 4th one slightly off to the side. The balloons are also the same colors: red, green, purple, yellow, and blue. Even the exit is where the Fredbear stage is, an exit that, if used, results in the bad ending because the souls don't get peace. It's where the child was chomped. And who's the one we see in this minigame putting everyone back together again? The puppet. Just like he promised the boy he would do on his deathbed. And here's the best part. How do you get to this minigame? Well, by playing through a bunch of others, including the Stage 01 game, which you access...
Chat, so, God, yeah, sometimes I get confused. So... Again, though, the person that says, I will put you back together is his father, right? I'm pretty sure that's who says it.
By typing the numbers 395248 into the wall.
That's
Why are
so
those
crazy.
numbers
Dude, that's gotta be one of the
It's
craziest things I've seen in a
hexadecimal
game.
Code for the color of purple guy, only it's backwards. It's Scott's way of showing that the puppet is actively trying to reverse the work of the purple guy and the atrocities committed inside the walls of Fazbear Entertainment pizza places.
What?
From here, the rest of the story is surprisingly straightforward. The pizza chain reopens during the summer of 1987 in FNAF 2's bigger location. Fazbear Entertainment rolls out the toy animatronics based on the character models of their merchandise, allows them to free roam, and even equips them with facial recognition software as added protection against child murderers. I mean, there's definitely a pattern being established here, so good on them for taking preventative measures. However, as we all know, it's not enough. As we hear about from the phone guy and see in the Save Them minigame, the purple guy, now the daytime security guard, kills 5 more kids within the wall.
Did he just say the purple guy is the daytime security guard?
Walls of this restaurant. When the puppet enlists the help of the possessed Freddy animatronic to save the kids, the purple guy responds, "You can't," because it's true. They're already dead. That said, a case can be made that the puppet successfully gets...
Okay. So to answer my question earlier, yeah, William wasn't locked in that room because he's still killing people here. So William Afton dies after FNAF 2.
These 5 souls into animatronics too. Notice that before this, 6 characters were possessed, but now there are 5 new animatronics in this location. Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, Mangle, and Balloon Boy. 5 spirits
Balloon
for
Boy!
5 robots. Quite the coincidence, don't you think? Additionally, we hear from Phone Guy that around this time, the toy animatronics inexplicably become more aggressive towards adults, but stay friendly towards kids. The only explanation here is that the 5 new child spirits are given life in the new toy suits by the puppets, but these spirits are angry. The pizzeria is gonna close,
I'd be
but
a
not
little
before one
peed off
final
too if I
birthday
got
party.
murdered.
Where angry and
I'd be
eager
really
for
mad.
revenge against their killer, these newly created possessed toy animatronics lash out at their murderer, the Purple Guy, who they know as the daytime security guard.
So that's why he thinks we are Purple Guy. Okay.
Except, bad news, Purple Guy is long gone. He did his business and got out. In his place is Jeremy, night security guard moved to the day shift, wrongfully attacked by a vengeful toy animatronic the day of the birthday, losing his frontal lobe and coining the now iconic Bite of 87 moniker in the process. This
And
causes
it got
the location to be
shut
shut down and the toys to be scrapped. Animatronics from
Again.
here on out are no longer allowed to walk around, and with Jeremy out of commission, Phone Guy volunteers to take over the position of Night Guard. Which brings us to our conclusion. The story comes to a final head in 1993. We know it's that year because of the minimum wage rate at the time, as well as the 11/12 date on the check. It doesn't matter if you're working night or day shift, all workers get paid on Fridays, and November 12th, 1993 landed on a Friday. It just fits.
Wow.
So Fazbear Entertainment tries to reopen the FNAF 1
Wow.
location with the original animatronics and Phone Guy as security night guard. With the restaurant reopened one final time, we see this scene, where the puppet is waking up the spirits inside the animatronics one final time. It's time to get their revenge on Purple Guy at last. Phone Guy gets killed, and as we see in the final news article on the wall, no one comes to the restaurant because of its dark, tragic history. But
And so is that when Afton dies in the spring suit? Because they're going after him to stop him, and then he puts on the suit to fight them or, you know, get them away, and then the suit right on him.
the franchise closing at the end of the year. Sometime after, Purple...
Is that at the end of FNAF 2 that we see him in the suit and get all bloodied, right? Is that one of the mini games in FNAF 2?
Guy returns to the building, dismantles the suits, but in doing so, unwittingly unleashes
here we
the
go.
spirits of the dead children, who attack and kill him, and if they're reunited by the puppet
That's
its happiest
FNAF 2,
day,
right?
finally receive their peace. Well, that is until Fazbear Fright opens and unearths Springtrap, but with all the other animatronics at peace, the puppet must get his hands dirty one final time.
And so, I haven't gotten into FNAF 3 yet, but that is FNAF 3 right there, the Fazbear Fright.
Turning to burn down the building and finish Purple Guy off for good. Or not. Like any good horror story ends. So what about the Phantom animatronics, Shadow Freddy, and all that? Stay tuned, we're going to talk about those during the live stream immediately after this episode. The video's getting really long at this point, so I want to kind of close it out here. But as we close out here, I have to ask you this. Was that answer satisfying? You see, that's the beauty of the dream theory and the frustration of anything else. There's so much lore, so many puzzle pieces to fit together that in order to account for everything, the story can't get much simpler than that. Dream theory in this instance is so satisfying here because it explains all the messiness of the lore in broad, easy to understand strokes without you needing a PhD in FNAFology to understand what's going on. Sure, it is possible to fit the details together cleanly, but it's not an easy to follow story. It's almost like you need a full-length book to truly put all the pieces together. Okay, I get it. Scrap everything I just said. Scott's got a book. Another FNAF video made moot by a Scott Cawthon announcement. Or not. This is actually a last-minute update. I'm recording this literally hours before the video and live stream tomorrow, but it was just too important to leave out, because it looks like Scott agrees with my conclusion. For once, the story is indeed just too crowded to be satisfying. When talking about the new novel, which, true to form, released early, he said the following, quote, "The truth is that after a while, lore becomes so dense that there isn't room for a story anymore. Sometimes a timeline gets so full that the only way to tell a real story is to have the story set in a different timeline," end quote.
I know I don't remember which game theory video it was, but Scott was also talking about how essentially you could have two truths, right? That there are some things that aren't going to make sense because of just the massive time jumps, how long this, we're going on almost a decade, that some of it is not going to make sense. That you can have two different theories and lores that are true, even though they could kind of contradict each other.
So there you have it. Dream theory for your simple answer, and a 20-minute long timeline for those of you who want something a bit more complete. So which do you find more satisfying? Well, let's talk about all of that live right now. Hello, Internet. Welcome to
Game Theory! All right, yeah, we can't check out that old 2-hour live stream, bro, but we can check out the hidden lore video that I didn't know was there, but you guys are awesome and let me know. So yeah, like I said on the Dream Theory video, I love it. It makes the most sense, and I hate, when I say I love it, I also hate it at the same time. We all hate when something's just a dream. In movies, TV shows, games, because it just feels like such a cheap and easy way out. But regardless, it still doesn't take away from the journey. It doesn't take away from the game, everything that we experienced and the way that we got there. But I believe that through the first 4 games when they were created, that was what was meant for it, that it was just a dream. But then this book changes it all. Sister Location changes it all. William Afton changes it all. And then we're getting into what we are now, and the reason why he's still making 80 some FNAF theory videos 8 years later, because it just kept going and it's a vicious cycle, and now we're doing a whole new timeline, which it's amazing. And we got like 10 days before, 8 days, 9 days, I don't know, a week and a half, let's just say a week and a half before the final part 3 happens. And then he's doing the same thing. He's doing another stream, which we're definitely going to be at. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you got the notifications bell turned on so you don't miss out. But also make sure you show MattPat some love by subscribing to his channel and liking the original video. And let me know what you thought of this. I kind of like how he gave 2 different perspectives. If it is the dream theory and if it's not. Again, I believe it is the dream theory, how it was intended originally, but then it changed when he decided to make more games in a book. So I love this, chat, and thank you again so much for letting me know that this video existed, because I had no clue. And if you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you smash that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy hump day. And remember, eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind of one another. That's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Gonna be love for the Sauce Gang. Boop, boop, boop.